Hello, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. Today we have an all-new review and wear test of the new Patrick Ta Major Skin HYDRA Luxe Luminous Skin Perfecting Foundation. So that's a very long title. I have mine in the shade 3 Rosy Neutral and I am so excited to try this one out. The description of this foundation. This says, after years of perfecting lit from within skin on everyone, Patrick developed his everything foundation. So this is lightweight and luminous with serum-inspired ingredients. Medium coverage formula boosts radiance and blurs imperfections, blending beautifully with bare skin and even better with makeup. This is available in 30 shades from fair to deep with different undertones and retails for $58 US. With ingredients inspired by Patrick's personal skincare routine, this includes triple hyaluronic complex to plump and hydrate skin, plant-derived squalane to improve elasticity and diffuse fine lines, and kombucha to enhance skin smoothness and radiance. So like I said, this does retail for $58 US. This retails for 81 Canadian. So this is not an inexpensive foundation. So this is in his standard rose gold packaging. This does have 1 fluid ounce. It has a 12-month shelf life and is made in the US with globally sourced ingredients. What got me really excited about this foundation especially was the inner packaging. So it does have his classic rose gold mirrored packaging, which is definitely going to get very fingerprinty very quick, but this is absolutely beautiful. This is also very, very heavy. This is probably one of the heaviest foundations that I own. So it's not going to be one that's travel friendly, but it is going to look absolutely stunning on my vanity. I love the square bottle. I love the mirrored packaging, even though it's going to get messy so fast. And inside you do get a really nice pump. So let's pin the hair back. I'll zoom you in and we'll get to putting this on the face and then we will start our wear test. It is currently 11 a.m. so I'm definitely filming a lot later than I would like, but I do want to wrap this up around 8 or 9 tonight so I can hopefully compile my thoughts for you. So let me zoom you in. Okay, so we have the hair pushed back, and as with all of my foundation review and wear tests, I like to prime and powder one side of my face and not the other. So I do already have my Refer Intense Hydration Cream on, but I put that on about an hour ago. So I am going to go in with a little bit of the Cali Ray So Blown Blurring Primer, and I think I'm going to prime and set this side of the face. So I do always set both under eyes, but I only set the entire face on one side. So I just want to put a little bit of this right in the center. And I do believe this is supposed to be a glowy foundation. Now, I have been moving away from these more glowy options, but some of my absolute favorite foundations do have a bit of a glow. I'm not looking for something that is fully matte, but I am not looking for something that is going to be seen from space. I want something that is going to give me a soft luminosity while also just looking very skin-like. But like I mentioned, I did pick up the shade 3 Rosy Neutral. It was a little bit tricky. I was debating on shades 1 and 2, but one of them appeared to be a little bit more golden. So I have about a pump and a half here. And you can see this is a very liquidy foundation. So I think I will start with a sponge. Just pick a little bit of that up. Okay, the shade looks like it might be actually pretty spot on. I thought for a second maybe it was too light, but it actually looks pretty spot on now. But it does look like the sponge is just kind of eating the product. I am going to switch to my brush because I do feel like my sponge was absolutely just absorbing the foundation. I am really, really hoping I like this one because I tend to love everything from Patrick Ta. I love his artistry in general, but I really, really do love his makeup in general. And I'm really hoping to like this one because his last foundation, which was the cream foundation that also had a powder in the compact, was also very pricey, but in all honesty, I did not like that foundation at all. So I'm really hoping that I like this one. I was hoping we were going to get a concealer from him this year, but I will settle for a really good foundation. I really like how that looks. It's definitely applying much, much better with the brush. I feel like the sponge just kind of absorbed all of the product and I felt like I didn't really get anything. So I definitely think the brush is the way to go with this one. So that is one side with and one side without. It's very, very skin-like. I don't feel like it looks like I have a foundation. I feel like it is sort of evened out my skin, but it's not super obvious that it's makeup, which is quite nice. But for 80 Canadian dollars, I don't know if that's necessarily what I'm going for. It does feel very nice on the skin. It feels incredibly lightweight. This is definitely one that I would forget I'm wearing. I'm going to try to add a little bit more. I'm just picking it up directly with the brush. I'm going to try adding some more because it does say it's a medium coverage, but I'm so far getting a really light coverage with this. It does blend out really, really well though, but it is doing a beautiful job evening out my skin tone, and I can see that this shade is a perfect match for me, which I really, really like, because like I said, this side looks like it's evened out, and it's definitely evened out any redness, but it also somehow doesn't look like I'm wearing makeup. So I definitely feel like this shade is pretty spot on. I also feel like it's sort of raining foundation right now. I see OAS has a new one that I have ordered as well. Huda's coming out with a new one that I'm planning to review. So there's lots of new foundations. And I noticed on Patrick's Instagram when he was doing the initial sort of demo with this, that on the model, she had perfect skin to begin with, but I did notice when he added the foundation that even on her it wasn't super obvious that she was wearing foundation. If anything, she just looked a little bit more even out. Like I said, she was perfect to begin with, but this does blend beautifully though. I will say, if there is a such thing as a foundation that is like a second skin, this is what I imagine that to be. This definitely feels very, very lightweight. It is definitely blending in very, very seamlessly. The shade match is perfect. I do feel like it's giving more of a light medium coverage, if anything, because would I like a little bit more coverage? Yes. But the way that this is giving that coverage, it's kind of like it's still looking quite natural. So I do really appreciate that as well. And I'm kind of torn at the moment because, again, I would like a little bit more coverage. I am having some post-vacation breakouts, so I would like a little bit more coverage. But this does just look and feel really nice as well. I do think it is a little bit more glowy than I've been liking, particularly right in the middle, but I would definitely just add some powder. See, I'm torn because I would like a little extra coverage, but it feels so incredibly lightweight and it's blending out so easily. It does feel like I've just got a really nice moisturizer on. It kind of feels like I just applied the Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream because I look dewy. It feels just very, very hydrating, but it doesn't feel heavy. That's how this feels. So as of right now, I'm thinking I really like it. I just wish that it had a little bit more coverage and maybe was a little less glowy, but I don't know. We'll see what we can do with some concealer and powder. I'm definitely going to have to powder the center of my face on both sides because it's definitely a little bit too glowy right here. But otherwise it does look really, really nice. I think for those who love a no makeup look, this could be fantastic. So I'm just going to grab my Natasha Denona concealer just to add a little bit there. Not too much. This is my all-time favorite concealer. I have been absolutely diehard loving the new MAC concealer, but this is still the one I love the most, and that is mostly due to the coverage. I will say I am noticing my hair is kind of sticking to my face a little bit, so this might be a foundation that is better used with powder. I can tell you right now that I like this foundation more than I like his cream foundation. Definitely. I feel like this is one I'm really, really going to like, and it's definitely going to be a really great everyday foundation. But it's not going to be a full glam kind of option because, again, I don't think I'm getting necessarily the coverage that I would prefer. I am really, really liking how the foundation is looking on my skin, and I do think that this is one that is going to be very well loved for those who love the no makeup look. If you like something that is just very lightweight, kind of going back to that clean girl aesthetic, which I know we're kind of leaving at the moment, but I think at the same time there's always going to be a place for that no makeup because I think a lot of people love that type of simple look. And I do think this will be a really nice foundation that's great for every day or great for the office. But so far it is looking quite lovely. So this is what it looks like with that concealer added in and blended out. I am going to add some powder. I've been loving the Tower 28 Get Set powder in Palisades Pink. This is one I picked up right before vacation and I took it with me along with the Givenchy powder, and I wasn't 100% sure if I'd like it, which is why I brought that one, but I've been loving this one. And this one, like I said, the shade name is Palisades Pink, but it's really not that pink. It's more of a translucent, in my opinion. So I'm just patting out that concealer and then just adding that powder. This is a really, really nice pressed powder. It's definitely very lightweight. I feel like it's very finely milled and it just looks beautiful. It doesn't look heavy. It doesn't cling to dryness or anything like that. I've been also just trying to figure out a powder to replace my Givenchy because I know I'm half done with that one. I still have a ton of product left, but they did reformulate it. And from what I'm hearing, it's not the same and it's really shiny. Okay, so I did just powder at the center of my face. I am going to pick up a powder brush and I'm going to dust this on this side of the face as well, just to kind of set everything down, just because it does maintain that sort of tackiness. It's not like a sticky tacky, it's like a moisturizer tacky, but my hair was kind of clinging to it, which I didn't necessarily love. So I'm just setting this entire side. So here's what we're looking like with the foundation, concealer, and powder. I do think it looks really, really nice. Like I said, it's definitely evened out my skin. It's definitely made everything look really, really nice. It feels very lightweight, but very, very hydrating as well. And it definitely gives a glow. So if you don't like that, that's just something to be aware of. It's not as glowy as, say, the Say Glowy Foundation, but it's definitely got a little bit more of a glow to it than my NARS Light Reflecting. So that is what we're looking like. Let me pop off camera. I will finish up the rest of my makeup and then I will be back to get this wear test started. All right, so here is what the makeup is looking like. It has actually been on for a couple hours at this point because I have been filming some other videos since I initially put on the foundation, but it is still looking quite nice. We definitely have a bit of a glow going on. Again, I do wish I had a little bit more coverage, but otherwise I think the foundation is looking really, really nice. It still feels incredibly lightweight, so I'm really liking that as well. I definitely don't think this is going to be a full glam type foundation just because, again, I would like a little bit more coverage, but it is very, very pretty and I'm thinking it's going to be an excellent day-to-day foundation. Another thing I wanted to mention about the packaging that I already think is stunning is that the label on the front here is actually metal, so it's not even like a paper label that's just gonna peel off. So I definitely don't think he spared any expense when it came to packaging, and I do think this packaging is probably the most beautiful I have in my entire collection. So I think this is gorgeous. But otherwise, so far the foundation is looking really, really nice. It still feels really nice. I'm happy with it, but I am going to go about the rest of my day and I will see you guys in a little bit. It is currently just after 8:30, so this has been on for a good 9 hours at this point. And it actually still looks pretty good overall. I can see little parts where the shine is definitely poking through, particularly in my T-zone, which is fine. I do have a dry skin type, so that doesn't happen to me often, but it doesn't bother me when it does because it's never excessive, but that shine is definitely coming through. So I think that is something to keep in mind if you are an oily skin type. I'm not 100% sure how much you're gonna love this. I have dry skin, I powdered this down, and I'm still getting a little bit of shine peeking through at the end of the day. So just keep that in mind. But overall, the foundation has held up quite well. It looks quite nice still. I do still wish that it had a little bit more coverage. This does say that it's a medium coverage foundation. I think it's a little bit more light medium, if anything. This does also say that it's blurring, and I really don't see that anywhere. However, I do think this does a really, really nice job evening out the skin and feeling incredibly lightweight. It feels very hydrating. It does give a nice glow. It is on the verge of being a little bit too glowy. It kind of reminds me of the glow I get from the MAC Serum Foundation, so that doesn't bother me at all, but it is something to keep in mind. I do not think this is transfer proof because when I touch my face, it does still feel a bit tacky, and before I added powder, I noticed my hair was still sticking to my face, which I just really didn't like. It wasn't like a sticky tackiness, it was more so just like I used a really thick moisturizer and now my hair is sticking to my face. Much like the Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream, I love that one, but it is incredibly hydrating and my hair will stick to my face. So that is just something to keep in mind. Overall, I do think this did a fantastic job evening out my skin, feeling very comfortable, wearing all day long, giving me a nice luminosity, and it just overall wore very, very well. The things that I don't love are, first of all, the price point. I think it's way too expensive for what it is. $58 US. You know, it's starting to get a little too pricey. 81 Canadian is just bananas. The packaging is beautiful. It is gorgeous packaging. This is definitely some of the most luxurious foundation packaging I have, if not the most. Again, I think this is a beautiful everyday foundation, but for that price point, you're not going to want to wear it every day. I do think this is going to be great for someone who does love that no makeup look, who maybe doesn't have a lot they want to cover, they just want to even out their skin tone and be done, or who has dry skin. I don't think this is going to be a huge hit with more oily skin types, and I don't think it's going to be a hit with people who want a little extra coverage. I just think it's too expensive for no makeup. What it comes down to is I do not dislike this foundation. I do like it. I will definitely keep using it. I will definitely be able to enjoy it, unlike his other foundation that I really don't like. This one I actually will get a lot of use out of because I have it, so I will continue to use it. And I do like it, but I would not repurchase this. And I probably wouldn't recommend it to anyone just because I think it's way too expensive for what it does. I think you can find much more affordable products that are going to give a very similar effect. That's all I'm getting at. I think it's nice. I don't hate it. I will definitely use it and continue to get a lot of use out of it, but there are definitely things I would change, and I do think it's way too expensive for what it is. But that is it for me today. Let me know all of your thoughts down below. Did you order this one? Have you tried it? What are your thoughts? But thank you so very much for being here. If you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing before you go. I do upload new videos every single week. Thank you again so very much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!